Luvinaka, and a warm welcome to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM. I'm Louise Kaunisela. The Volatabu Group has been working with the Ministry of Defense and National Security as part of the National Task Force Drug Harm Reduction Committee. Now, the Drug-Free World, Fiji, is a non-profit public benefit corporation that empowers youth and adults with factual information about drugs. The idea is to steer our youth in not choosing to take drugs in the first place. My guest today is the founder and managing director of the Volatabu Trust. And this is, of course, Kalesi Volatabu, as well as volunteer in charge of Operation Osea Wanganinavatu. Welcome to the both of you to Speak Your Mind. Anyhow, let's just get straight into it. I know since forming in late 2018, your team has achieved so much, I would say, in such a little time. But first of all, we'll get back to that. But Kalesi, what is drug abuse in Fiji like now?
Right now, it's really prevalent. I can't really say it's a huge culture that there is in certain degree. With all the community awareness that we've done literally on the last 5 months. So we've been able to direct delivery to 10,000 plus people, individuals and family. And that's literally going to high schools, churches, combines, primary school, secondary school, villages even. And the request is enormous that comes through. And we get individual, that comes up on the side and, share their story. They're telling us. So right now we even go to weekly basis to St. Giles to talk to the inpatient. So it's their story literally that, just confirm what we're actually doing here in the country. And that's literally just to give them that, it actually takes a lot of courage just to hear someone's story.
Yeah.
And then to be able to, share our story, what we've done.
Yeah.
Because we sit here, not just literally what we've learned in theory. No, we're experienced. So we've experienced this drug that we have here in the country.
Okay.
In the schools. And all you got to do is look in media. And you look at all the arrests that we've had so far in the last 5 months, how many people we've lost. Women, especially to violence. And those are all drug and alcohol related, one way or another. Yes, all the break and enter, all the assaults.
Yeah.
So it's the alarm that comes through and through. Now that we've started school even, just, if we look back just in the last week, how many incidents of drug and alcohol have actually come through with young kids.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Kalesi. So, Osea, maybe you would like to share with us of your experience as part of Drug-Free World Fiji.
Yeah, like Ms. Kalisi has already mentioned before, like when we go out doing outreach, we all we just tell our experience, what we've been through, and that's where we gain more information from the users. And we just pull them aside after our outreach and try to get more and more about them.
Okay, so when you say experience, does that mean that you once used to be a drug user? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, that's always the best way to go forward,
Yes,
I reckon.
yes.
Someone that has been through the situation and then to tell someone to help them to get out. That's really good.
Yes.
Yes. It must be really effective, I'm sure.
It is very much, because at the end of the day, when you're a user, when you're literally been using, whether it be on social setting or an addict, an everyday user, your trust is not there. So literally, to get someone to openly have the courage and be brave enough to share their story to someone else, it's quite hard.
Yes.
So for us, we actually speak from our own experience. Osea experience here in Fiji, and when he went overseas to Australia. My experience started here as a child. So I don't just speak as an adult user. I speak from a victim as a child experiencing alcohol abuse within the home.
Right.
And then when I went to Australia, the drugs that I experimented with, and literally those drugs that I took just to numb the pain that I went through.
Yes.
So I speak from that. So different platform, different experience, but obviously the consequences of those drug use and alcohol abuse is rife.
Yes.
Not just for us, but when we come back, 35 years, I've spent in Australia, and then I come back, and Fiji is not what I remembered.
No.
And the drugs that's on the street is not what I remembered. Back in those days, it was just marijuana. I come back, and it's cocaine, meth, ice. It's not just smoking
Yeah.
or sniffing these drugs, they're actually injecting it as well, which is add a different element to it.
And they seem to think that it's really good because, I mean, they're going off even the marijuana, they're going for the methamphetamine.
Yes.
And
Yeah, because marijuana is like a gateway for other drugs. Yeah,
okay.
and it's very important for someone like who's been an addict
Mm-hmm.
and doing the outreach. Like it carry more weight when you go and tell about your story, and yeah.
Oh, exactly. I mean, if you two, speaking from experience, for someone who is a drug addict, you'll make them think twice, eh?
Yes.
Wow, if they can do it, maybe I can too.
Yes, and we share those stupid mistakes that we've done along the way, those silly decisions, the consequences literally of using this drug. For me personally, I've lost friends and family along the way to drugs and alcohol. Yeah,
Ooh.
and those are either OD'd, overdosed, or in prison, yes, or lost in the mental institution, but at the same time, 6 foot under, in the cemetery. So it's like, people's lives are being ended here by these poisons.
True. I mean, it's really expensive to buy to here, and I wonder how people actually getting the money to buy the methamphetamine. I know that's like $50 for teeny weeny speck.
Yes, but what they're doing here in Fiji, they're actually cutting it. So they are actually making it easier and cheaper for people to actually use or to buy those.
Trying to get them to be hooked,
Yes.
maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. And then, because all you got to do is look at the price of alcohol right now in this country. It's quite, we were at a workshop last week and we asked, just the audience, so how much is it to buy a carton of beer? Yes. And, they were saying $50, $70, $80 even. Yes. Okay. How much is it to get marijuana off the street? Yeah. $5, $10. Okay. How much is it to get meth or ice off the street?
Right.
And it's the same. So for them.
Not much difference.
No.
I mean, except for the marijuana, of course, much
Yes.
cheaper. But
Yes, but the consequences of what they're putting into their body, the how literally their whole world changed, their aggressiveness that comes in when they're under the influence, it outweighs literally the cost, financial cost to the cost of losing somebody's life.
That's so true. I mean, they almost become psychotic sometimes
Very much.
because of the drugs. It,
Yes.
makes
Yes.
their mind go all whack.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll be back shortly on Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. My guest in the studio from the Drug-Free World Fiji, the founder and managing director of the Volatabu Trust. This is Kalesi Volatabu and volunteer in charge of Operation Osea Wangani Navatu. But anyway, it's really interesting talking to you, and I am really actually so happy that you've taken the initiative to help our people in the country because of the fact that, we're really falling into a deep hole here. But anyway, what is the main goal of addressing this drug problem in our society?
Wow. That's a double-edged question. So what's the main goal for us? For me personally, if we take it to an individual basis, for me personally, I'm a grandmother. Yes. What future do I want for my children's children? Okay. Yes. And then obviously I'm someone's daughter. Yes. Being a parent and everything else, that's the last thing I want for my children, to be influenced or addicted to these poisons. Yes. And then at the same time, just a Fijian, first and foremost, I care, and my heart literally is for every individual here. And the thing is, this drug, it does not discriminate. It's across all borders. It affects everyone. Doesn't matter what religion you are, what age you are, yes, what ethnicity you are even. The age group and everything else, it doesn't really care. Yes. So for me personally, it's that. It's, I'll give just my last breath just to help one other person. And the thing is, we have family that actually struggle and they suffer in silence. They don't know who to reach out to. They don't know who to ask. Someone that actually can come and sit down with them and take them on this journey. For instance, OCA is actually we've done drug intervention in the sense that, family in crisis, they call out, we go out, we go and meet the parents and they tell us, what struggles they've gone through. and where the challenges has been for them, what they've experienced. So Osia then talks to their child. Yes. Because obviously when you're an addict, you don't want to listen to anyone else. Because
Yes.
obviously for you internalize everything.
You've
You're
made up
the
your
expert.
mind.
You have.
I love this,
Yes.
and I don't think anything's wrong with
No.
it, and no consequence.
No consequence unless someone that actually walked their journey and know exactly what they've gone through. Yes, they can say, "Oh, okay." So Osia goes in and everything else. And the thing is, it's not just having the experience; it's how you talk to these guys. Yes, boys and girls. You can't go in with your, academic, high level English and everything. No, you got to drop it to the streets and actually talk to them on that level.
Exactly.
Yes. And he tell them, we're not here to tell everybody saying, don't do it. No, we share our story.
Yeah.
We share where we've gone wrong.
Right.
Yes. And obviously, what are the consequences of that? And then we give them the factual information about the drugs. What we found, majority of the time, they don't even know what ingredients is in meth or ice.
See? I mean,
Yes.
imagine what it'll be doing to your brain and
Yes,
everything else in
to
your body.
your body. Definitely.
Oh,
Yes.
dear.
And Osea will speak for himself regarding why he drives, why he persevered to come. We were both in great paid jobs in Australia.
Right.
And we decided, and it's amazing though where God takes you. That's
it.
the thing, yes.
There's always a plan, and you don't even know
Yeah.
when it is and
Yes.
it's around the corner. You have a calling, that's for sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main goal for us, like to come back to Fiji and give something back to our people. And yeah, that's what we've been doing for the last
5 months.
5 months. Yeah,
No, that's how much you love your country and the people.
Yes.
Because obviously you are living abroad,
Yes.
and you get to miss your home, obviously.
Yes.
And then, everything just take a full circle.
Yes.
Come back and help your people.
Definitely.
So it must be very satisfying for you. I know, but very busy. I mean, hearing Kalesi saying where you've been in such a short time, I don't know how you do it. But great job.
It has its challenges along the way and everything. And so I must, I need to pay tribute to the volunteers that we have. We haven't got many, obviously, because, we just started. We couldn't really foresee how big of a range it was going to cover. But at the same time, we need to say, thank you and acknowledge, the very first seed funding that we received was from Vodafone Foundation Fiji.
Yeah.
That one by far. It was a small seed funding, but it was something.
It was so useful. I mean,
Yes.
you could do a lot with it.
Yes.
And I'm sure you could do more if someone, helps, does help you with funding, so you
That's
can
it.
continue the work. Because I believe you've only covered VT level.
Yes.
Right?
We've only covered Viti level. We've got requests that's come from Kandavu, from Madhuata, Lambasa, Savusavu, Ovalau, Lamaiviti, Levuka. So it's just, it's all across this nation. And with no funding, we just, we'll just wait. And I'm sure someone's listening out there
Yeah,
that want to
so-
help us.
So,
Yeah.
like, if someone is listening in right now, how can they give funding to you to be able to do this very important work for our people?
Yes, so we have a account that whoever's listening out there, so it's with the HFC Bank, and the account number is 80172S10. The account name is Nathor Chambers Limited Trust Account. And, if you can just identify donation for funds for Volatabu Group, it'll be much appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, geez, the work that you do, gosh, the amount of people that you reach, and at least in the hope that you will get to change someone's mindset.
That's it. Someone's family.
Yes.
When we're talking about those who are using, it's just that not the individual that we're dealing with. We're looking at the family. We're looking at the community. We're looking at their village.
True. It's village level now. They even
Yes.
have access to the hard drugs as well now.
Yes, they
I know
do.
before it was only marijuana.
Yes.
That was pretty famous.
Yeah.
But even the hard drugs now.
Yes.
I mean, well, marijuana is a hard drug as well, but that's a chemical one.
Yes,
I should
yes.
say. Yeah.
It is across Lambasa. We get that phone call and request all that, all the time. And then obviously Kandavu. Yes, all the way in Savusavu. And where you least expect this drug to be at.
True. I mean,
Yes.
you should be satisfied, on a beautiful island,
Oh.
plant your food, eat. Why would you need drugs when you got such a lovely place to live in? But, okay, maybe we should talk about how you work together, the Drug-Free World Fiji, under the National Task Force Drug Harm Reduction Committee. Who are all involved in here?
So we've got the community is made up of different ministries here in Fiji. So you've got obviously the Ministry of Defence, they're the spearhead for it, so they're the chair. And then we have the Fiji Police, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, that's part of that as well, and obviously Customs, because you're looking at border security, immigration, and then at the same time the NGOs as well. So we've got Ministry of Mums that sits
Right.
on there, yes. And then, of course, the different embassies. So we've got the Australian Federal Police, New Zealand, and
Fantastic.
US Embassy as well. So it's the thing is to actually be able to do something, address this issue that we have in the country. It has to be a holistic approach. It has to be a collective approach.
Yes.
Everyone has a role to play.
Yes, it's really involved. Now, you've said the grassroots outreach has been strengthened by the teamwork of people that you've mentioned,
Yes.
with the police as well, especially the CID. Could you give us an example of how you work together?
So obviously with them, with their work that they're doing, obviously being a drug unit, right? So they have information, hotspots and everything else. But what they're finding, the lack of information or educational program that needs to go out into this area.
Okay.
So obviously we
Alright.
work with them to literally, we go in to deliver what our experiences. Yes. The reasons why we go to drug in the first place. And they come in and they deliver the stats, the data that they have, what they've seen. The thing is, because we look at it, drug labs here in the country, it is quite, dangerous. And these are not just, established in, industrial area. No, they're in remote areas, even in settlements that we have here in Suva, which is quite dangerous when it's not just the person that's actually dangerous for them, the chemical that they're using, but those are around them as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, we'll be back for more on Speak Your Mind. This is Gold FM, only the classic hits, your only classic hit station in the country. This is Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. My guest today, the founder and managing director of the Volatabu Trust, as well as the volunteer in charge of operation. This is Kalesi and Osea. Now, we shall move on with our topic. What are your future plans in the work you will do for 2020?
Wow. You know what? Fiji's got 330 islands. Yes,
Ooh, boy.
vast,
Lots of work.
vast and diverse. And the thing is, it's to be able to do this right. Obviously, we got to look at who our people are, and then obviously how do we effectively deliver this message. So obviously, the booklets that we have is in English. Yes. So obviously, for us, one of the key jobs that we have to do is to translate it in Fijian, and then look at Fiji Hindi as well. That's just one. Obviously, the other one is our public service announcement. Get it on TV, so people get to see visually what it looks like to be on these drugs. Yes. For me, one of my dream is to get a bus, a 22-seater bus, kit it with, like a theater on mobile.
Wow.
Yes.
Sounds good.
And then you get to actually carry this, just get in the bus, you put the video on, people get to watch it, and then, just to share it. So you actually take the message out to them.
True. I mean, if
Yes.
you show them the visuals, they might get a bit scared. Because
Yes.
I know for the methamphetamine or maybe cocaine, it really deteriorates how you look.
Yes,
It makes you
does.
look like so much older than you really are.
Oh, yes, it does.
So
Yes, it
bad.
does. Because you got to look at the ingredients. The ingredients, what's in meth.
Oh.
From those key ingredients and everything else, it's not good for the body. We're talking about acetone, battery acid, ammonia, which is found in fertilizer, phosphorus. So all those ingredients are quite dangerous anyway. So, if you take, just the two of them, battery acid and ammonia or paint thinners, put it on your skin, what happens?
Burns.
Yes. So obviously, when you're ingesting it, whether you're smoking, snorting, but what we're finding, they're injecting it. And the thing is, they're sharing these needles. Yes, we met a young girl 2 weeks ago. She's only 16.
Oh.
Yes, and the track marks that we seen her on her arm. Yes, it's so sad to see. And, just to see that Osea actually did the intervention and counseling with her, just to hear her story.
16 years old.
Yeah, 16 years old. Yeah, she was in tears and I was trying to dig deeper. And like she said, there's a problem back home, and yeah, she just left on the street with
See?
some of the gangs and all the yeah.
Street people.
And that's where he started, yeah,
how
receiving and
she's-
getting all the gears.
So they probably said, "Oh, try this. This is
Yeah,
really good.
just,
You'll
yeah,
feel
just to
good."
numb them up and forget about what's going on around them.
But that's just not the way. They don't know that they're sinking even more
Yeah.
into a
No.
black hole,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Okay, so they're tempted firstly by the situation of their home life.
Yes,
Obviously, for whatever reasons we don't know.
yes,
And then they learn it from their friends, who
Yeah.
well who they think are their friends.
yes,
Yeah, because some of the users they use it for some other reason because they got reason to use
Okay.
like drugs. Yeah, some they want to use it like for gang related, and some it's like family problem.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot
Yeah.
of reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be just standing on the street and they just use the drugs. There is a reason why they're using it.
Because their mind is not settled. They're not happy, maybe. And then they think they'll find happiness if they take the drugs, or probably just blocking everything out.
yes. That's it. It masks the pain.
Mm.
Yes. You know,
Okay.
like for whatever reason was said to use in the first place, mine was from issues regarding domestic violence, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, homelessness, rape,
There's a lot.
mental health, all
Oh.
that. Can you imagine when you're a person, yes, and you push to the limit, literally, what do? You go for whatever it is that will give you some peace.
Mm.
Yes, just to numb the pain that you're going through. And half of the time, it's the voices that you tell yourself every day when you wake up. You keep hearing these voices, it's, because it wasn't mini.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, when people, those insults, those mocking that we do. Yes, when you walk away, that's still embedded in somebody's mind. To turn it off, they go to this drug just so they can escape, just to turn those off, to numb.
Just to mask the problem they've been going through.
Yeah. But we forget, literally, we think we need the drugs to numb the pain. When we come off the high, when we go through withdrawal, obviously that is multiplied 20 times because those pain are still there and they are even worse when you actually begin.
So obviously we have a lot of cases like that in our country.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is really, really encouraging to know that you and OSEA, as well as the team, are making the effort to, just curb this problem, control it
Yes.
before it gets out of hand. After all, we're just a small population.
It's, a drop in the ocean,
Yeah.
actually.
Ah.
Tiny little island. But the issues that we have, yes. I mean, if you look back, just in last year, how many women did we lose to domestic violence?
About 10, I think it
Yes,
is, yeah?
yes. And majority of those, all of them were alcohol and drug related. And this year, we just had one 2-3 weeks ago. Yes. So it's like, how many lives do we have to lose? How many women, how many mothers and sisters, daughters do we have to lose? Not to mention those young people, literally, we're losing to St. Giles. We go to St. Giles and we see them in there. And it's like, it breaks my heart because these young boys and girls are early 20s, in their teens. Yes. And it's just, just sit there and you talk to them. How did they start? Have a Tylenol with them.
Okay, so their parents take them there to
Yes.
St. Giles because
Yep.
there's nothing much they can do. So they're just forced to go in there. Oh.
They are either forced or literally, we've had a few that just, they go to St. Giles because they know they need the help.
Voluntary or
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's good too.
That's it.
Yeah, so
That's
I mean,
it.
it's really important that you two make regular visits to St.
Yes,
Giles.
yes.
But like you said, it really breaks your heart to see these young people in the problem. And then what do you do when you go there? How do you talk to them? How do you...
But it's so sad when you go there every week. You see like every new faces every week.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's it's really really sad to see them like sitting down there, like they're
Looking-
lost. They're
yeah,
lost.
Yeah, they're lost. They're definitely lost,
They're-
yes.
Because if you look at it, we don't have a drug and alcohol rehab here in this country.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
Yes.
ask you, whether you think it should be time. But hey, we'll be back for more on Speak Your Mind. Gold FM, only the classic hits. Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela, my guest in the studio, the founder and managing director of the Volatabu Trust, Kalesi, as well as volunteer in charge of Operation Osea. And this is part of the Drug-Free World Fiji. Now, just talking about your visit to St. Giles, I find that really interesting because, I mean, for the fact that you're approaching people, you're actually doing the job. So what I wanted to ask you, in your own words, so nice to hear. It was another awesome session you said that you had with your family at St. Giles recently. Now, you have already told us a bit about what you've experienced, how every week there are new faces, they're really young, and they look, lost. Mm-hmm. Right. So I just wanted to ask you, when you talk to them, what is their reaction to you talking to them?
You want to take that one, Osea?
Yeah, I think Osea should take that one.
Go.
Yep. I mean, like your personal experience talking to someone who is suffering from drug abuse. So when they do go to St. Giles, they're trying to get them off the drugs too.
Yes.
So are they actually going through withdrawal or something while they're there, or what?
I think they just go there just to get down from the gear, and they put on medication. So so when they put on medication, like just because when they're aggressive, just because of the
side effects.
For the sake of the staff members.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and we just go there and we share our experience to them, and this is where we are when we were on drugs. Mm-hmm. So like we are here to help you guys. So whatever you're going through, just let us know. We're gonna help you out. Okay. And most of them, like, this the last time we saw them, and they'll never come back again.
So like they understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, it must be very encouraging for them, for you to go there and talk to them. So at least let them know that it's not the end of the world.
Yes, that's right. Each week is different. So if we look back 2 weeks ago, we actually had the session on marijuana, inhalants. Inhalants is pan.
Okay.
Yes.
Glue, or whatever they have.
Yes.
I know in the old days it used to be kerosene or something.
Yes.
Benzene.
Oh, benzene. Kerosene.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, right.
So literally we get to share our journey and everything, our volunteers, and then we show them the video. What are the short-term effects and the long-term effect?
Ooh.
And pan, everybody doesn't think, what I'm trying to hear, what I'm hearing is literally the lack thereof, how hard drug it is. Yes, and the effects it's doing to the body.
Okay.
Yes, because we take it lightly. We think, it's all right, they just sniffing glue. No, we've seen effects of, those guys have been on it for over 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Yes. And literally how slow, how delayed they are in their thinking. Their body literally doesn't function the same. They've their nose, they don't have the sense of smell anymore.
Oh,
yes.
I see. It does that too, eh?
Yes. And that session, when we showed that and everything else, one of the patients that we had, he never spoke. He never spoke at all. But this session, he just got up and he says, what do you expect us to do with this information?
He wasn't very happy, was he, to see how horrible the reality is?
To hear the reality of this. So he gets up and that's what he said. We kind of just looked at each other and we think, wow, finally, after 4 weeks, something has got to this guy.
He spoke up.
He spoke up.
Because normally they're just quiet.
They're just quiet, or they're very reserved, or they don't think they have anything to add. But this guy just got up and he's asked the question. And to tell you the honest truth, with every session that we've been to, the drug awareness, that's the first time somebody's actually asked us this question.
Okay.
Yes, what do you expect us to do?
Oh.
And for him, I need, just to acknowledge him to, through whatever phase he's going through to ask that question. And we just told him, you know what, the information is for you. If it's not to help you, maybe your children or a family member, yes, for you to share what we're actually delivering. Yes. And then obviously each week is different. It's amazing. After the session, they didn't want to leave because the question was coming about marijuana and then inhalants, how bad it is, because they minimize the effect of marijuana, yes, and inhalants. They just open literally the can of worms for them to ask the question, and we sit down with them at their level, talk their talk, yes, and just have a conversation with them, yes.
That's the
and
way.
that is very important for someone to go and speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, when you are an old user, drug addict, yeah, and when you go and talk to them, like they know what they're saying and they know what you say.
Yes, they understand because, you know,
But if anyone just go in there and without any drugs or anything he's been experienced,
right,
they won't understand
they won't
what
know.
they're saying.
Yeah.
They got no idea what they're saying,
Yeah,
and they'll know what he's saying is all lie.
right.
Because it's the lecture style. It's how you deliver the
Yes.
information, and how it's like looking at ways to engage your audience. I've worked 20 years in the judicial system. My work literally has been with programs and education. The audience, when you think of, adults, male prison, the audience is quite different. The education level is not the same. There's different, but at the same time, you just know how to change it up, what language to use to engage them. Yes. But what I found all the way through, sharing your story most and foremost opens up that trust with them.
Yeah, because you actually coming down to their level.
Yes.
You're not looking down and telling them, no, this is wrong, you shouldn't do
Yes.
this. Because of your experience, you give them the hope that they can also,
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's
Yes.
true. So, like you did reveal that real stories were shared at St. Giles Hospital
Yes.
in your recent visit. Sorry, can you tell us what you found out from some of these stories told to you?
Wow. Stories literally, how old were they when they started? What was the drug of, choice for them? Some would say, alcohol, started with alcohol, and they go on to marijuana. We had one that started with pan, sniffing at primary age. Yes.
Some of them, they do it with a glue, especially the primary.
Yes. The young age,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It
there's
seems to be
glue.
very common with the glue, especially with children who are not being really supervised well by their parents.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yes. Just to hear their goals. Where do they see themselves in 6 months? When you sit and you ask them that question, you're confronting them. Because for them, it's like, I don't really care. I just want to know when I'm going to get my next hit.
Exactly.
Yes. So when we look at, to be able to help someone move away from, this drug that they're doing, yes, we've got to look at the core issues.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you've said earlier, there's always a reason
Yes.
for these victims. On Gold FM, this is Speak Your Mind. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I do hope you're enjoying our program today. And we have as our guest in the studio, founder and managing director of the Volatabu Trust, Kalesi Volatabu, as well as volunteer in charge of Operation Osea. So, yes, we were finding out about how you do your work, which I think is really good, getting to the same level of victims of drug abuse. Now, I just wanted to ask about your Truth About Drugs campaign. What does it involve?
So what does it involve? So obviously we have factual information, literally the little booklets, right? It's fine and dandy when you go out there and you say, don't use drugs. Okay, what are the different kind of drugs? The mindset of your audience, you don't even know where they've come from, what drugs they've cross path with. Yes.
Yes.
So you can go up there and actually just do a lecture. But unless you give them the factual information in order for them to make those choices, because at the end of the day, you can't force anyone to stop using drugs.
That's true.
You
It
give
must be a
them.
very big job for you to be able to convince someone
Yes.
that they need to
Yes.
come back and just live a normal life without, you don't need drugs to be happy.
No, that's right. So for us, first of all, we always begin with sharing our own stories.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
What happened in our lives, the struggles, the trials that we went through. Yes, and how we
Yeah.
actually got introduced to drug, who introduced us, at what age, what was
Yeah.
our drug of choice. Yes, what were those consequences while under the influence of drugs?
Oh, I can
and
imagine they must really listen to you too, eh? They must be like, wow,
Yes.
I'm liking these two.
Because, like, you are inspired. At the end of it, you're inspired because we take them on a journey, you know, because there are moments
Yeah.
where we cry, we laugh. Yes. And then at the end of it, they're inspired. Because at the end of the day, we just want to empower them to actually get up and say, you know what? I'm not for drugs. You know, I'm drug free and my family will be as well. So we give them booklets. So they
Right.
get booklets so they can take it home and share it with their family. We have DVDs as well. So they get to see documentaries. Yes, the true factual information about drugs.
That's good. I mean, at least you show it to them, eh?
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't think they'll go and look it up on YouTube or anything like that. They
No.
won't bother. You'll have to have that approach.
Yes.
Yeah, watch it. See.
That's it. That's it.
And then you get them thinking.
Yes, we get them thinking and everything, but we challenge them as well. We challenge them literally in the
Yeah.
sense that when we share our story, when
Yeah.
we share our testimony, because the taboo subject, especially for me, the taboo subject I share is something that we don't openly talk about it here in Fiji.
Very much.
Yes.
No, yes. I mean, just now with your
Yeah.
group, it's really doing well. I mean, breaking that barrier
Yes.
of being silent about all this. But the more you're silent, the more worse it gets.
Yes,
eh?
it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. And before you know it, it explodes in your face. It's like, you know what? It's better to be preventative.
Yes.
Yeah, early intervention than at the end of it thinking, oh my Lord, what do we do?
Yeah,
Yes.
good work. Because even you go to schools and you
Yes.
do the same thing that you do with everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ose,
Present to them.
I'm gonna get Osset to actually just share information about one of the Sunday school and the youth combine we went to just before Christmas.
Okay, would love to hear that.
Where was that? Dambati.
Yes.
Yes, we went to Dambati for the outreach, and it was during the camp for the youth and the Sunday school. So the first question was for the Sunday school,
Yeah.
and I said, "Raise your hand if you have seen marijuana." So yeah, all of them, hands up.
Boy.
Yeah. And that minute, I said, okay, hands up who have seen ice. Yeah, the hands just go up and go down again. And I look around and I say, come on. Yeah, and like a few of them, they just put their hands up.
So they know.
Yeah, and I
It's
said,
been in their home,
hands up who has seen the cocaine. Or pan. Yeah. Hands up. And that's where, like,
You know
The
the
kids,
magnitude
yeah.
of
Yes.
the kids,
Boy, the children,
Sunday
man.
schools, yeah.
See, I mean, because that's where they're honest. Because
They
you
are. Yeah.
go to the school, and when you ask them, they tell you the truth.
Yes. Yes.
Unless some parents may be at home telling them not to say anything.
Yeah, but they can't hide anything.
They can't
They'll
because
just
they
open it
won't.
up.
They won't.
Yeah.
They'll cough it up.
They'll just open it up.
Yeah, especially at that
And-
age, eh?
Yes.
Sunday school. How
Yeah.
old were the children in the class? All what?
That's
About-
from class 1 to class 6.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So we go
okay.
6, 7, even younger ones, all the way through. Yeah. And the thing is, if it's not from their own individual family, they're seeing it around
seeing
them, eh?
around.
So whatever environment they
Yeah.
come from.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't invited any callers yet, but we're almost finished. If you have something that you'd like to say, you can call 3220906 or 7732906. Something that you might like to share with us. Yeah. So that is very interesting. I mean, that is probably going to be a lot of that area, the different areas. You probably get more children putting their hands up. Eh?
They are. So
Yeah.
that's just one example. You know, you go
boy.
across through all the different schools. Even if you talk about, so the thing is, even if before you even ask about marijuana or meth, ask about alcohol. How many in the room have
Yeah.
seen someone, mateni, iyo, vundu, bevala, all that? And I bet you every hands is going to go up. Yes, not just from kids all the way up.
See, but that's a vicious cycle because if the children are going through that,
Yes.
I mean, they could very well grow up to be exactly the same.
We as parents, we're our kids, first role model. Before they even go out to the school, the responsibility stays with the parents, starts off with the parents. Yes. So, when we groom our children, when we raise our children to be great citizens, sound citizen, yes, So literally, we got to look at ourselves. How we talk to our kids. Yes.
Love, we should
Yes.
treat them with love.
Yes.
Have time for them, take them out. I mean, children are only children, from when they're born
Yes.
up until, say, teenager, 13. So
Yes.
this is a very tender time where you have to show them lots of love.
Yes.
And I think when children don't experience love, that's when they go off the road.
They do, because you're
Do you
always
think so?
looking for something. You're looking for that void, that void that you don't find in the home. It's a sense of belonging to a family, to a unit where you find love, security, and care. When you don't get that at home, these kids are going to go looking for it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Especially when they are left alone, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Especially when they're
true.
left alone and mom and dad, they're going
Yeah.
out for, I don't know, whatever shit they do out there. And
When
they
they-
don't even think about what's going on back home.
They don't really care
And
about
that's
the
where they go
children.
wild.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
I think that's the main problem, eh?
Definitely.
But, and then now your job is to help these poor people who have experienced this in their
Yes.
life.
Yes.
So you show them the love, you touch some heartstrings, and who knows.
That's right. Yes.
Anyway, we're just finishing off now. Maybe just again, please give your contacts for anybody who may want to help you in your crusade against drugs in the country. So just very quickly before we finish.
Yes, our number is 907-4068, 907-4068. Send us a message, call us please. Our email is volatambugroup@gmail.com.
That's lovely. And you also have an account that they can
Yes,
deposit money for the much needed work that we need in our country.
yes, please. It's HFC, HFC Bank 80172S10. And it's the account name is Narthor Chambers Trust. And if they can just highlight that donation to the Volatabu Group.
That's lovely. And I just wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And I thank you very much for this passion that you have for helping the people of the country. Pinakavalevu Kalesi and Osea on Speak Your Mind. I hope you enjoyed the show. And until next week, Nisamo Demanda.